In a similar fashion to how the story of Hollow Knight begins, a higher being arrives in the land of Farloom and is like, "Hey, nice place. I think I'll become the god of this land." And so, Grandmother Silk, Grand Space Mother Silk, she's not a gilf, well, not yet, used her powers to evolve the indigenous spider-like creatures into beings called Weavers, who can now learn the move Silk, which is a really good move. It's like the Surf of Hollow Knight, if Surf could also heal you. Grandmother Silk's new servants would sustain her life by singing songs to her in worship, but eventually they got tired of all this deriding and revolted against her by putting her to sleep using a magical song perpetually sung by a choir of bugs in Farloom, which is why a lot of the decor in Farloom is themed around the production of sound and music. Grandmother Silk was secured inside of a cocoon and locked away in a citadel high atop Farloom. The choir then began harvesting her silk and inserting it inside of themselves to try and gain some of her powers, which let Grandmother Silk control their bodies and drive them mad, like the infection in Hollow Knight, except silky. So most of the Weavers abandoned Farloom and traveled to foreign lands, with the ultimate plan that they would create a child that could usurp Grandmother Silk. In the land of Hollow Nest, the Weaver Hera met this fine king, who is also married, but that's not important. And one thing led to another and a Hornet was born. I mean, a child named Hornet that was later trained by a Hornet. I mean, did Hera name her Hornet knowing that she would one day be trained by a Hornet? I guess I'm thinking about this too much. After Hornet helped save Hollow Nest alongside her Munchkin sidekick, who may have become a terrifying void monster, but you know, stuff happens. Hornet was bug-napped by the choir and taken to Farloom, where she butts heads with a similarly silky girl named Lace, who Grandmother Silk created entirely out of silk to be one of her loyal servants, because that worked so well with all of her other children. Hornet climbs to the top of the citadel to meet Grandmother Silk, who may actually be her grandmother depending on what your definition of a child is. Hornet defeats her grandmother and absorbs all of her silk, but she would be unable to resist its power and would essentially repeat the cycle as Farloom's new overlord. But she does look really, really cool, so it's not that bad. To reach a happier conclusion, Hornet must work with a snail shaman, who sets up a trap in the citadel where Grandmother Silk will be sucked into the void. However, the salty grandma tries bringing Hornet down with her, but her daughter cuts off her arm and is trapped inside the void instead. Why did Lace betray her creator? Because she's upset that she's an artificial creation. And also later because she thinks her mom likes Hornet more than her. Ugh. Teen angst, am I right? Oh wait, she's an ancient being? Yo, my bad. In an attempt to protect her daughter, Grandmother Silk uses the majority of her silk to create a cocoon. Meanwhile, with no way to safely enter the void, Hornet does what any good protagonist does when facing an unsolvable problem, and has a flashback. A magical flashback assisted by the snail shaman, where she meets with her 3 mentors. And in her memories, she receives a flower that repels void from the White Lady. And so Hornet, gripping the Everbloom, dives into the void and enters the cocoon, where she has to battle her void-infected friend, or sister, or aunt? I don't know. In one last attempt to protect her daughter, Grandmother Silk gives Hornet all of her silk so she can escape the cocoon. But the Everbloom reaches its limit, and the two are stranded in the Void Soup, where the creatures of the Void threaten to destroy them with their tendrils, until the Knight, now in their ascended form, protects the two of them, and carries them to safety, where the two are able to laugh about what they just been through. Well, one of them is able to laugh. Hornet just stares at her. If you have a game or a series they'd like to see me cover, then let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.